Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We're talking about Luke Skywalker for Star Wars Shatterpoint. Today, we've got a preview from AMG that came out a few days ago. And I know some folks have asked, are you talking about Luke Skywalker? Are you going to talk about Luke Skywalker? Of course, I'm going to talk about Luke Skywalker. And unfortunately, not talking about R2-D2 today because it's just Luke Skywalker. In this particular preview, I believe R2 is actually part of Lando, and so he's going to activate with Lando, but that'll be a whole nother thing. So, because we've already got looks at some of these cards at the last mini extravaganza, but it's time for a closer look at Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. So here is his card. He is a 7 squad point card. He comes with 3 Force. He's a primary unit. And he is the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Obviously, there will be more versions of Luke. I imagine we'll see, obviously, a farm boy Luke at some point, probably giving Luke the ability to come in as a secondary or maybe even a support, possibly. But also, I expect us to have possibly a version of Luke Skywalker in his Bespin outfit, possibly dueling Darth Vader, although that could be an alternate version. They might do some alternate art versions of some of these characters. So, there's lots of different ways they could approach this. And I also expect possibly some older versions, possibly a Luke from like Mandalorian Season 2 finale, which would look very much like this one, but maybe just with the hood or slightly different. I mean, Darth Vader is going to look pretty much the same in every version, right? It's just the way he's sculpted. So they can do a lot more with the black outfit of Luke Skywalker. They can have him as an instructor, as a teacher. They could also do Old Man Luke. There's a lot of different Lukes they could do. And so it's exciting to see Luke show up in his most popular and possibly most powerful form as Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. And he does look pretty powerful. He's got some pretty interesting abilities on his card. He is a Force user, he's a Jedi, and he's Rebel Alliance. I don't know if we have really anything in the game right now that's referencing somebody who's a Force user, though. I think like everything is kind of like Jedi or Sith or Inquisitorius or more specific Force abilities. I don't think there's very much, although there could be, and maybe I'm just forgetting. Let me know in the comments if there's really, if Force user is one of those keywords that's just untapped by the game yet. I think stuff like that will get very, very interesting in the future if there are keywords that like buff Force users, because that will allow you to mix things like Darth Vader and Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker in the same builds, and as mixing Sith and Jedi together, because they don't have Force user, it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so Force user might not be doing a whole lot for him, but Jedi and Rebel Alliance probably being the most prominent keyword, most likely to get referenced by a lot of other Rebel Alliance cards. So he's got 11 health and 3 stamina, a decent amount of health. Going to be tough to take down. Again, usually it's hard enough to kill characters in this game. It's going to be very hard to kill Luke Skywalker. He probably will never die. And even if you're playing Episode 8, Luke will just not die. Because in my games, Luke doesn't die, ever. And that's just the way he's going to be in my games. Let me know if you guys agree. I loved Episode 8, by the way, but it was heartbreaking to see Luke Skywalker die. I had to watch that with my own 2 eyes, guys. It's like, what? I didn't want to have to watch that. All right, so on to Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker's abilities. He's got Return of the Jedi. So again, when you activate him, it's at the start of this unit's activation, one character in this unit may jump and then refresh a Force. So I like the mobility. I like the Force. I think this guy's going to be very, very good. This is going to be a must-buy, I think. You can either profit by this or be destroyed. For a Force, as an action that you can choose an active objective within 2. So you got to be kind of close to something. Each enemy character contesting that objective may dash. Then one character in this unit may dash toward that objective, and it may make a 5-die melee attack. So he's giving everybody a chance to run away because he's coming in. Which, I mean, like, it's cool, but your opponent's not going to like do something stupid. It's not like he's going to put like a killable unit closer to Luke. He's giving you the chance to run away, and you kind of hope they take the offer because you're like, all right, get off of this objective because I'm going to come in and kill you. It's kind of like the Jedi thing to do, but at the same time, you don't like want to be nice when you're playing this game. You want to defeat your opponent, and you want to like wound their characters, and you want to get momentum from it, and stuff like that. So the whole fact that you have to pay a Force to do this and to push people away from you is like, ooh, that's weird. You know, I honestly don't like that ability at face value. Once it's being played out, then it's going to be interesting because maybe it'll be a fun ability. Maybe I think it's more thematic than it is good because it sounds like something that Luke would do. But at the same time, why am I going to spend both an action and a force, possibly two force if I'm wounded already? All right, so like to move towards an objective, it's like it's a free move, but it's also like letting you move your guys away and it's giving you two free moves. And then like especially if like it's like if the struggle is about to be won, then you kind of get to take two characters and move them even closer towards what might be the next struggle. So yeah, this is just that I really am kind of up in the air on that. Fortunately, that's not what makes Luke great, and I think the main point of that second ability, you can either profit by this or be destroyed, is the fact that for a force you're getting a move and an action. And if you've already done a regular move or like a move and an attack, right? So it's a way to be a little more efficient. You're like, hey, I can get my free jump and then I can take an advance and then I can get a free dash on top of that and then an attack. So you can get kind of three moves in one activation out of Luke this way. And I think that's the more important thing because of the way it synergizes with everything else that Luke is doing. Plus, if you end up teaming him up with somebody else who gives a Jedi a free move, which of course there will be stuff like that, then you can it'll make it even better. So like I think that's really the point of it. But yeah, hopefully after like the first turn you won't need three moves. And that's another thing is you can use that on an objective that maybe nobody that nobody's contesting. If nobody's contesting it, you just get a free move. So maybe that's another way to run that one. Deflect is pretty standard. We've seen deflect before. It's a good deterrent to ranged attacks. Also doesn't cost a force if you're not wounded, so that's pretty cool. I will not fight you is also a very interesting one. I actually really like this one. I think this is a great one. While you have deflect as your ranged deterrent, you also have a melee deterrent here with I will not fight you, although that one does cost a force because Luke wants to fight back, but he's using the force to calm him. When a character in this unit is targeted with a melee attack, this unit may use this ability after the attack is resolved afterwards. So all of that pushing and shoving and stuff that's going to come from that attack. If the attack roll contained one or more miss results, one character in this unit may heal twice and then jump. So you'd have to get shoved like more than twice, all right, to not be able to just get right back where you were. So like that's really good. I like that I will not fight for you. I will not fight you, not fight for you. I will not fight for you also. I'm sure he was like, Vader, I won't fight you, but I also won't be a Dark Jedi and fight for you. I'll just stand here and let you hit me because I'm going to get to heal through the Force. And that's pretty cool because even if he doesn't end up taking damage, he doesn't have to heal himself. He can heal somebody else that's nearby as well, which means he'll probably pair well with another Jedi at some point also. But it's just another ability that's giving him movement. So you can potentially, be moved by another character. You can get Return of the Jedi, which gives you a jump. You can either profit by this or be destroyed. You can take an advance as your other action, and then you have I will not fight for you. So it's like there's at least 4 moves that you'll be able to do, if not more, based on another character or maybe the new. You pull that Shatterpoint card that lets you dash if you're depending on which objectives you're playing or something like that. So he's got a lot of movement. And in a game that's all about area control and not so much about combat, I'm really kind of pleasantly surprised to see how effective Luke is going to be in this game. And it's not because of his skills with a blade, but with his skills or with his foots and his footsies and his legsies running around the game. He also has I am a Jedi, like my father before me. While this unit's order card is in the order deck or in reserve, it gains immunity to expose, which is massive because it means it's going to be harder to kill him, although he does have 11 health and 3, so he's got like 33 health, so you're not going to kill him anyway. But still, it's cool. It also may be harder to push him away because that defense isn't just about keeping him alive, it's also about keeping your opponents from getting farther up their combat tree and put shoves and other status effects, so that immunity is a good thing. And then also, while this unit's order card is not in the order deck, it has immunity to immobilize or to pinned rather. So that's also kind of cool. I think the top part is the more important part. It's like basically what this is telling me is like I kind of want to activate Luke Skywalker with a Shatterpoint card. I want his order card to be in reserve. Kind of want to activate him with a Shatterpoint card and then go again, like maybe towards the end, so he's immune to exposed for the whole time. And especially if that Shatterpoint card puts him, in range of an objective, he's gonna, obviously he'll be the target of a lot of attacks. He's got those deterrents. Like he seems like he's really built to synergize with himself very well. And he seems pretty cool. Now let's take a look at his stance cards. Also, by the way, guys, we are still doing the 12 Days of Life Day. It's not totally over yet. We've had lots of giveaways. There's still chance. So if you want to have a chance to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Throughout the month of December, I've been doing 12 days of giveaways. So you never know which day it's going to be. But go back and watch some of my other videos and I usually announce winners towards the end of the video. So if you've entered by subscribing and leaving comments, then you have a chance to show up there, and you might just be surprised to see your name floating above with a prize that you won. Okay. So we've got his offensive form here, Jim So. This is his more Darth Vader fight kind of version. He rolls 8 dice, so he's got a strong lightsaber attack here. A single expertise gets him 2 extra strikes, so that is very, very nice. He has look, two successes gets him 5 damage, right? So that's huge. Then he's got the advance in there, and I think that's really the strong part of this one is the mobility it can give him. He's only got 5 defensive dice. He's got no ranged attack. The defense isn't as great with this one. You've got the 1 expertise is fine, but if you start getting 2 or 3, you don't really get anything until you get that 4th one. So you don't want too much expertise. 1 expertise is fine though. 1 offensive expertise is also pretty good. If you get that 3rd offensive expertise, you start to get the critical in there. But honestly, it's a good offensive form. It gives offense and mobility. You have a few status effects in there, but you have no pushing. And so this is a better stance, I think, to use if you're fighting somebody either very far away from an objective, or if you are doing this one where an objective is about to change, like at the very end, and you need to hey, I already scored this one, I need to abandon and move to the middle of the board or wherever might be the next one. So this is a good one to get away from where you are currently fighting, especially with 8 dice, and who knows, if you're going to focus or do anything else with this. So it's a good offensive stance. But where I think he's really going to shine is his Form 3 Soresu. This is what he learned from Obi-Wan, yes? Look, this is the one that wins you games, frankly. It does not have the extra damage. It's only 7 dice, but still, only 7 dice is still pretty good. That's still a lot of dice, especially when you only need 2 successes to really start doing the magic and making things work. And everything beyond that is just gravy. So his defense is a little better here. It's definitely a more defensible. Not only are you getting 6 defense dice, your defensive form here is a lot better. 1 gets you a block and turning a crit to a hit. 2 gets you 2 blocks and turning a crit to a hit. So that's really good. 4 gets you 2 blocks and turning a crit to a miss. So again, it's a little bit better for the defensive form, for the expertise, and because you have +1 die. So that's a very good thing. Also, you do have a jump if you have 4 expertise on your attack. It's unlikely to get that many, but that's just worth noting. The real big thing here is the shoves, being able to push your opponents away twice on the first 2. On the first one, if you only get 1, you're still getting a push out of it, which is great. If you get 2, you're getting 2 pushes. If you get 3, you're getting a jump out of it. So you also have some mobility here. And if you get 5, you have an option for a 3rd push or 3rd shove as well. So very, very game winning, very tactical area control. Move your opponents off of the objective, away from strategic importance. This is a very good ability. Also is a good stance to be in if you're using his abilities, like to making that free 5 dice attack. hey, you might only make a 5 dice attack with him, but you don't need all 7 dice to get those first 2 shoves in. Whereas, and again, if you're going for damage, though, then maybe this is where you're going to do it. You might have a harder time with a 5 die attack getting to the third one here, which gives you that free advance, which is really the big money maker you're trying to get to with this one. So I like Soresu better if you're trying to move in and secure an objective. If you're trying to get away from where you're fighting, I like Gemso a little bit better. So that's kind of, and hopefully you'll be holding down those objectives more often than not, and that's kind of how you win the game. So I think Soresu is the way to go. So that is our look at Luke Skywalker coming early 2024. We're getting a whole really groovy pack here. This is probably one of the best packs for Star Wars Shatterpoint. I was kind of hoping this expansion would have come out in 2023, being the Return of the Jedi anniversary, and featuring also Leia in her Bouche disguise, as well as Lando in his, in his Skiff Guard disguise. Very cool Return of the Jedi based expansion. I think they're all up for pre-order. AMG actually just announced some other stuff up for pre-order now too. So like the Ewoks and a lot of the other Return of the Jedi stuff. As well as the Plo Koon pack with Ahsoka and the Wolf pack and all that stuff. So all that stuff is up for pre-order now, so you can check all of that stuff out. And as new previews come out, we'll be looking at those as well. And that is going to do it for today, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. So thank you so much for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. The spice must flow. And always wash your socks.